Oh my god. So as you can see, this is why having quicker cars can make everything just go wrong. Hey guys, Keisha Gaming here, and today we are on Need for Speed, but a different one this time. So we're on Need for Speed Shift. Now, I consider this game kind of like in between a Forza and Need for Speed, or that Gran Turismo kind. And it was Need for Speed's, apart from Pro Street, kind of the first attempt in circuit racing. Now they actually made a sequel, but a lot of people pass this over as a game that wasn't that good, that didn't really represent Need for Speed. Yes, it may not have had the storyline or anything, but the car list was actually pretty darn good. There are a lot of cars in this game. Not gonna go over all of them today, but today I'm just gonna show you kind of the how Need for Speed Shift was, and what it was. And so one of my most favorite events that you can do through the quick race mode or through the career mode, and I always thought it was one of the best because it was just like, it was such a there was so many this particular track and this amount of laps and opponents, and you'll see like there's gonna be AI that are just like flipped over, and then it's a really crazy one, something that you wouldn't really expect from a circuit type game. And this is kind of something that I wish Forza would have, like a small track where you can just put a whole bunch of people in there. It won't get too bad, but basically the faster the car, the more, the better, the more, I guess, how should I say it? The more damage there will be. Now, I do have my damage set to all, so we'll see how that goes. But this is the car we're going to be using today. One of the best cars in the entire game. I recently completed this game. I got all stars for the last event, which is the Need for Speed World Tour, which is basically the whole goal of this game. And if you complete it, you get this M3 GT2, which is on the cover box of Need for Speed Shift. But anyways, yeah, so we're going to be using the Pagani Zonda R today, and it's a really beautiful car. The sound engine is perfect. It handles great, light, and it's just a monster on the track. Now, for this track specifically, it's not that good because you need something that's a little bit slower with a little bit more grip. So I have tuned it slightly just for those preferences. 2,668 pounds, 700 horsepower, and 710 foot-pounds of torque. So we're definitely looking at a lot of power here. So let's talk a little bit about Need for Speed Shift. So it came out in 2009, and it was really just, for me, I felt like they were trying to make a sequel to Pro Street, really. A lot of the tracks you'll see, especially if you do play the drift events or the Tokyo, you'll see it looks like it's just really they modified kind of some parts from Pro Street, but other than that, I mean, it's really the same. And but the one thing that really took away this was that there was a level system, and that the level system was basically split into two parts. So there was precision. So for instance, like, as you can see, the blue on the left, right next to points, that's like precision. So that's like staying on the line, doing clean overtakes, that kind of things. And then you have the red on the right, which is more like aggression. So by trading paint or doing dirty overtakes, which is basically just hitting someone and overtaking them. But yeah, so you'll see why this track, or why this game kind of features a lot of racing, because there's like things that you can get disqualified for going backwards. You can there's like track cutting, and there's all sorts of stuff this game has. And this game was actually one of the only Need for Speed games that I know that actually has zero. You can have zero opponents in your race, and there aren't too many games now. Like if you look at Need for Speed 2015 or Need for Speed Most Wanted, there aren't a lot of like these quick race events where you can just jump right in and get any car you want and do whatever you want. Now this game didn't really have a good driven storyline. Oh my god. So as you can see, this is why having quicker cars can make everything just go wrong. But anyways, But this game wasn't really story driven. It was more about the essence of racing and using different types of cars for real life tracks. So very similar to a Forza style game where lots of cars. Well, I wouldn't say this car had an amazing car list, but it was good enough. And then there was also a tier system where it was divided tier 1, 2, 3, 4. So obviously, the higher the tier you go, the better the cars get. So tier 1 was more like your star cars. Tier 4, which is the Zonda R, was more like endgame hyper cars. But the good thing about this game was that you could use a tier 1 car for the whole way. I mean, it'd be very hard, but you could do it. And that's something that we kind of see, but we kind of don't see anymore. Like a tier 1, I mean, obviously it's going to get beaten up, but it's possible. Whether you want to go like 100% with it, that I don't know, but it's possible. Now the one special thing about the Shift series, at least, is that it had this special upgrade that only certain cars had, but I kind of wish all of them had. But anyways, it's called Works, and the Works Conversion, I think that's what it's called. That's its full name. And the Works Conversion was a very interesting type of it's a very interesting upgrade. So it costs a lot of money if you're starting off, and basically it was like it was a total revamp of your car. So you would have like these crazy body kits and this crazy like wheels and stuff, and it would basically turn it into a full-on race car. And you couldn't do it for all the cars, but there are a lot of cars you could, and it was just crazy. And also this particular game had a lot of game modes. However, it wasn't quite enough. I kind of wish we had more, but I mean, it is what it is. So there's drift, circuit, sprint, time attack, and then there's also this cool one called duel. So basically, you just need to win. It's like a 2-hour-3 race where you go head to head with someone. But I don't think you can do that in the single player, at least. But yeah. As you can tell, the damage on the visual damage, apart from he went flying, but the visual damage on this game was actually not that bad. I mean, as you can see, the entire back of my Zonda is just gone. It's not even existent anymore. It fell off a couple laps ago. And we're already on lap 12 out of 20. This track isn't very long. It's, I think, the second shortest track in the entire game. I guess next I'll talk about there's a hidden tier. Not very hidden, but I might show it to you if this video gets really good likes, maybe, and views. I might go and maybe do a full let's play possibly, or even do another, or maybe just show you a little bit more about this game. But this game also had a secret tier that wasn't really accessible throughout the main game and was only able through the quick race menus or the online gaming, and it was tier 5. There was a tier 5 in this game. The best cars were in tier 4, but there was a tier 5, and basically all that was just these special racing cars. So the racing car versions of regular cars. So there's the Audi R8 LMS. I believe there's 5. There's the Audi R8 LMS, the BMW M3 GT2, which of course is on the cover. You had the Maserati MC12 GT2. Then I think there's an Aston Martin, and then I think that was it. I might be mistaken. There might have been one more, but yeah. So you just get them by either leveling up or by completing these, or just completing the storyline, and then you just get them. And really, they aren't that quick, I would say. But the Maserati, though, I remember being super quick. Like, it was almost as quick as this Zonda. Now, this is one of the only games that I actually played with assistance, actually. I played with this game with a lot of assistance, surprisingly. Not that it was too hard, but it's just that it was a very difficult game to master, especially the drift modes. Like, your car would just spin. Like, in this game, it's either you have full-on understeer grip or you have full-on oversteer. And finding the right car balance would mean you would have less power, and it's just not good. But anything else about this game, actually? Oh yes, there's one thing. So when you progress throughout the career mode, there's a really interesting about currency in this game. So as you know, so you save up money, you can get better cars. But in this game, most games, I'd say, you have like how should I say? You have like, I guess when you sell something, you only get maybe a little bit more than half of what you spent on it. I think for Need for Speed 2015, it was like you get 30%, I think. So let's say I spent, $15,000 on a car, I'd only get, their new driver level. So that's what I was talking about, like points and driver levels. But anyways, so I spent 15,000 on a car. 30% of that is like, what, 5,000? I'm not sure if I mathed right. 30% of, I think it's 5,000, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know, whatever. But, so, you would only get 5,000 back. But the thing about this game, as we come out into the finishing line here, is that you would get 100% of what you bought, or what you spent, you get 100% of that back. So let's say I spent $1 million on the Zonda, which the Zonda actually does cost $1 million. And if I sold it, let's say I want to sell it, I could just get $1 million back. Crazy. But yeah, I mean, the one thing I also liked about this game is that they had, even though it didn't have that much customization, it still had quite a bit. There was customization for every single, pretty much basically every single car except for the tier 4 and tier 5 cars. As you can see, if we go into Car Garage here, there was quite a few cars. I mean, enough to where the point where you could get a lot of these, And then, of course, there's some cars were only able to drift. And then, I mean, the entire car list. I don't even think I've used all these cars. I mean, I probably used most, but I think some cars I probably haven't used would be S14. I don't think I've used the SL65. Yeah, but there are a couple cars I haven't used in this game. But there is imagine there's body kits for every single one. The tier 1 cars had 3, plus the works, which would give you 1 more because of its race thing. Tier 2 would have 2 or 3. Tier 3 would have 1 or 2. And tier 4 would basically, they were just race cars. So tier 4 here, as you can tell, the Bugatti, the Koenigsegg, the Reventon, the LFA concept, man, when the Lexus LFA was still concept. The McLaren F1, the SLR, the Zonda F, the Carrera GT, and of course the Zonda R, which is the one I have. So yeah, definitely the high-end cars was here, but the thing I liked also was that there were a lot of low-end cars like the Audi S3, the S2000, and the old Civic Si. They even had a Renault Sport Megane, the Scion TC, a Seat Lennon Cupra, hopefully I'm not butchering that, Toyota Corolla, the AE6, RIP Toyota in new games, the Volkswagen Golf GTI, they had the Scirocco, it's an interesting choice, the Scirocco, but yeah, and that's not even all the car lists, because they also had the Ford Shelby GT500, the new Mazda MX-5, Bugatti Zonda R, Lamborghini Murcielago, Audi RS4, Chevrolet Cobalt SS, the Porsche 911 GT3 Carrera RS, the Shelby GT500, a Dodge Challenger, the old one, the Dodge Charger RT, the Chevrolet Corvette, the Stingray, even the Toyota Supra. I mean, there are a lot of cars in this game. There's enough diversity in this game. I really enjoyed this game. It was one of my first Xbox 360 games I had, so I definitely had a lot of memories coming back here. And I forgot to mention there's even tuning. And if that's too basic, look at this. It's like Forza tuning. I don't even know what this stuff means. I don't even think Forza has this much. Okay, maybe Forza has more, but yeah, I mean, Need for Speed Shift was actually a pretty darn good game, and not only that, but you could also customize. There were hundreds of rims. Okay, maybe not hundreds, but there were a lot of rims. Like, look how many rims there are. You could change the size. You could put whether you wanted the front or the rear. Work. I mean, they had a lot of vinyls. They had like the factory vinyls. You could create your own custom vinyls. You could add. I mean, okay, some of these weren't that good, but they were enough where it was actually decent. But anyways, it's taking up. I'm already past 15 minutes, and that's my whole ramble about Need for Speed Shift. I'll probably be back on this soon, but the next time will probably I'll probably have more top drive videos. But yeah, I mean, Need for Speed Shift. If you don't have it, I don't think it's very much. I mean, now it's probably like nothing. You probably get it for maybe $10. I don't know, 10, 20, maybe on Amazon if you want to buy it new, it's probably like 20. But yeah, I mean, Need for Speed Shift. It's a little something to think about these games. I mean, yeah. But anyways, that's all I have to say. I'm Keishan Gaming. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.